The PTZOptics Studio Pro camera is an all-in-one content creation and live stream solution that features a 12x optical zoom, up to 1080p 60 frames video capture, a 72.5 degree field of view, ability to connect to your Instagram, your TikTok, your live streams through RTMP, SRT, and a lot more, and a great way to make vertical videos with that toggle switch in back and turning the camera. I'm going to talk about that right now. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine, Think Magazine, Put in a Geek, and you got me. We've got a lot of great content over at Geekazine.com, YouTube.com/Geekazine, so don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification so you know when the next video comes out. Now let's talk about this camera. Now, it's not a pan camera, and it's not a tilt cam. What it is a camera that can match with your other PTZOptics cameras, like the Move SE. In many multicam shots that I run, like a one-on-one interview, I always have one stable cam and two PTZ cameras. 95% of the time, that stable cam is in one spot doing one thing, an overall shot. I need this as the go-to camera. If my other cameras are not doing the job, it's got to go back there so I can make my fixes. Now, before I used the Sony AX700, which is a 4K 30 frame camera, it's great, but it lacks some camera control, and if I wanted to use something like NDI, I'd have to connect a third-party device. I could connect another PTZ camera and keep it stable, but the Studio Pro allows me to be as hands-free as possible. It gives me control via their web app, even if I'm not connected to the network. And the camera also has a self-streaming option. Now this means I can put in RTMP information, I can put in SRT information, I can put in other server information and connect to other shows, I can connect to my Facebook, I can connect to Instagram, and even TikTok. Well, that's if I had 1,000 followers, so I could get the live feature. So go follow me over there. It's over at tiktok.com/@Geekazine. Now, before we get into the deep dive, I do have to mention that I did get this product from PTZOptics for review. They have no say in how this video is being created, and all opinions are of my own over at Geekazine. I have a page that talks about this over at geekazine.com/review. Now let's look at the specs of the Studio Pro. Inside is a Sony CMOS sensor at 1 by 2.8 inch. This sensor works great in low light situations, and not only will you find it in the Studio Pro, but it's also in the Move and the Move SE, which I have over there. I'll be talking about the Move SE in another video. Now this means with the Move SE and the Studio Pro, you can get a great 1-2 combination for all your content. I took them out to a couple shows, recorded a couple bands. They work like champs. Getting back into the Studio Pro, it's the size of most camcorders, only 1.54 pounds, and inside has a 12x optical zoom with a 16x digital companion zoom. The lens is 72.5 degrees in a fully zoomed out shot, 6.9 degrees when it's completely zoomed in with the 16x digital zoom. The camera has 12-volt power supply in the back. It's also got Ethernet, 802.3AF Ethernet for power over Ethernet options, and a 5-volt USB power. And yes, you can plug this camera into the computer without a power supply, and it will power the camera. It can do a bit rate of up to 100 megabytes per second with audio up to 256 kilobits per second. Color systems in H.264, H.265, MJPEG, and YUY2, with video formats of YUY2, H.264, SVC, and MJPEG. I did a full unbox video, which you can see over on my affiliate page over at Amazon.com/shop/Geekazine. Now let's talk about the features. In the front of the camera is the time of flight focus sensor. You don't block this because that's what's keeping you nice and focused in the shot. It also means that if I put a product up for you to see, it will focus on that quick and easily. And then when I put the product back down, it'll focus back onto you. Now you can always change those settings to manual focus if you want via the remote control or the web page for the camera. On the top of this camera, we have microphones with noise suppression and a broadcast LED. Above that is the shoe for lights and microphones, displays, and a lot more. Now get this, with the right video monitor attached, if that monitor has a battery attachment, the USB could actually power the camera as the cable sends video. Now I've been reviewing YOLObox products, the YOLObox Pro, and this one right here, which is the YOLObox InStream. I can connect 1 to 3 Studio Pro cameras, 2 HDMI and 1 USB, and with the vertical video switched, turn this into a full vertical studio. If it's a 1-camera studio, and I flip this switch and I do it like this, then I can walk around and use it like this and have this power this. Now keep in mind this camera is actually meant to be more of a stationary camera. There is no stabilization option, so you will see a shake unless you get something like a 3-axis gimbal to put onto the camera. It's also meant to be an indoor camera, so if you take it outside, make sure that it's protected from all the elements. Now with that all said, and those specs all said, and oh yeah, I forgot to show you they have the 1/4-inch mount on the bottom, and then when you go into vertical mode, all you really have to do is back here, you'll see this little switch right here. You just flip it up and that'll set it to vertical mode. If you run it like this, it'll be vertical mode horizontally, and of course if you run it like this, that will be vertical mode vertically. Got it? On the back, we have the threaded mounts, and on the side, we have side threaded mounts. So you can put it right on the tripod without flipping the tripod over or using any type of extra attachments. Now, with that said and done, here's a couple pros and cons to the PTZOptics Studio Pro. First, powering the unit is fairly easy. There is no battery inside, but I could get a 10,000 milliamp battery easily for about 1 to 2 hours worth of use and plug it in via USB. Attaching a microphone to the camera is absolutely not a problem. 3.5-inch stereo plug back here. Use the shoe to hold whatever microphone you have. Even the included LED light has side shoe mounts, 3 different side shoe mounts to attach to the other items. By the way, that LED light is pretty small and does 3,000 to 6,000 Kelvin. It's a nice addition, but I'm probably going to stick with the lights that I normally use for my cameras. A couple cons is with the PTZ, basically. With the 16x digital zoom, I was really hoping it would have a digital PTZ ability, just like this HuddleCam Pro HuddleCam HD does. This doesn't do any digital PTZ, but that could also be added with firmware update. So I throw this out to you, PTZOptics. With that feature, this camera would make a great at-home kit. It's an interview kit for those people that send out video cameras and microphones to people for interviews, and especially with that SRT option, this thing is a powerhouse. Another con is the web interface, especially with trying to figure out colors, brightness, contrast. Now, PTZOptics has that camera management platform software. It's in beta right now, which can control your PTZ cameras in your network and your USB cameras. It can control this camera, and guess what? It can even control other USB cameras like this OBSBot tiny camera. It's easier for me to adjust the color and the brightness using the remote, which I'm very familiar with because all the PTZOptics cameras have this same remote. Only problem is if this camera is in an odd spot, I would really need that web interface so I could see what I'm zooming in, how I'm color correcting. Once again, another thing that could get actually fixed in a firmware update. Finally, it would have been nice to have a threaded mount on the front for attachments like a hood to remove any type of light pollution from the studio. I know you have to keep this sensor clear. In some situations, I wouldn't even need it. I would be focusing manually anyway. It is small, it is lightweight, and it is a great addition to my camera setup. I've been putting the Studio Pro in my teleprompter for face-to-face interviews and reading scripts, and it works just as well in vertical mode with the side 1/4 mount threads. For a simple studio, for someone making vertical videos, or for an upgrade to their web camera that normally sits on the computer, PTZOptics Studio Pro with Power over Ethernet and NDI support is going to be a great addition for anyone wanting to up their game in their video. But what do you guys think of the PTZOptics Studio Pro? Is this a camera that you want to put into your bag? Let me know in the comments down below. And hey, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you know when the next video comes out. That does it for me today at Geekazine. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, you guys geek out and stream on.